Hi guys, welcome back to You Too Can Nurse, where I'll be discussing about becoming a community staff nurse from being a bedside nurse in the hospital. But before I talk more about that and my disability of osteoarthritis and how I was able to navigate the system or navigate doing my degree in nursing whilst having this disability, I just wanted to take it all the way back and basically talk about how I, had sustained my osteoarthritis in my left ankle. So I guess it's a little bit of like a story time, to actually have the foundation of what caused this disability in the first place. So sit back, get a comfy biscuit or a cup of tea and just wait for me to deliver the story. So basically, I believe in 2006 or 2007, I think that time I was in year 11 or just about to turn into year 11. So basically in around 2006, 2007, when I was in secondary school, we have like the holidays, the 6 weeks holiday. You're able to like relax, feel free, do whatever you want to do. I miss those days at secondary school. So I went on holiday with my really, really close sister. We went to France, and that was my first major trip, at secondary school. I think, where did I go before that? I don't know if I went to Ghana before, but yeah, definitely. I believe I went to Ghana before that trip. So, but this for me was a break. Like I was going with my sister by ourselves, no parents, no somebody a bit more older. So I was really, really looking forward to it, and I honestly enjoyed my time in France. I saw Paris, I saw all the different places, and was able to enjoy that holiday. So now coming towards the ending of my trip, and I was now preparing to go home. I believe it was like maybe a week or 2 weeks before we are now going to take the Eurostar back to London. And then we just went to the park, was cycling, and then all of a sudden, I think towards the ending of the day, so it must have been like maybe a Saturday or so, and we were cycling in the park. On our way back from the park, so we're cycling going home now, we was like, oh, let's just take the the bike for another spin. Let's just go like riding around the area of where we were staying. And then so I was cycling. I believe it was like down a hill, and in France the roads, or in the mirror basically, the roads are like quite pebbled, so it's like quite rocky. So the only way I could describe it is it's just like really, really rocky. It's not smooth. Everything was just quite stony. So we're going down, I was going down, cycling down the hill with my other friend. I wasn't by myself, with my other friend, going down the hill. As I was going down the hill, there was speed. It was like building up, as gravity is just like pushing me down. So gravity is building up, gravity is building, and then all of a sudden, sorry, my phone was about to fall there. All of a sudden, I just realized, because I'm using my brakes to try and slow down the speed of how I'm traveling. But then the speed is like is building up more and more and more. Then I was trying to use the brakes that I've been using the whole time that I was using this bike, that was working perfectly fine. But at this moment, when I was trying to use the brakes are not working. The only brakes that I could feel that were working was the front one. And if anyone knows anything about riding a bike, if you're with speed and your only brake that you use is the front brake, you know how you see some of the bikers that they will flip, and that their front wheel will go up into the air. And that is the kind of speed that I was going, that I knew that if I use my front brakes, my front will tip over, and I would fall, like I would have landed head first. So I was just trying to navigate my way, trying to like reduce the speed, using my legs to like slow myself down. But as at the speed that I was going, even when I put my leg down to try and slow it down, it was just kicking it off to say like the speed is too much. I can't even use my leg to slow it down a bit. So just quick thinking, like all of this was happening in seconds. So within a couple of seconds, I was like, okay, what can I do to try and slow this down? So then I was now using my bike to try and navigate through the roads to make sure that, okay, you know, I'm not gonna hit anything and I'm not gonna just like throw myself like head first. So I again, this is happening in seconds. So by the time I'm realizing that, okay, let me navigate, you know, let me not knock into anything, I've now knocked into a pole in the road and I've now landed. So instead of me landing head first, I'm now like gliding. It's as if I'm gliding in the air, like horizontal, and then the first impact was my ankle. So the trauma or the hit that I hit the pavement and then skidded up across the path, that is why, you know, that's what sustained the osteoarthritis. And even now, talking to like doctors, they're actually saying that it's called post-traumatic arthritis, but it's basically the joint in my ankle has completely worn away. The cartilage that normally is there to protect our bone, our soft bones in the ankle, is completely worn away. So I was bleeding. The trauma was crazy. Like the blood was just everywhere, you know. I'm so sorry for those that are squeamish, but yeah, the blood was just pouring out. It was like an open fracture. Not knowing that I dislocated my ankle and my knee also was shifted. And for me at the time, because of the trauma, I didn't realize exactly, you know, what was happening. So I couldn't see because again, I was wearing jogging bottoms. So I was now trying to get up, trying to see like, okay, let me just get up because it's not that bad. And because of trauma, your whole body, it just shakes and becomes like really, really numb. So I didn't realize exactly the extent of what I went through until when I was trying to stand up to say, okay, let me stand up and walk. And I realized that I can't even feel my leg. And then I don't know why, within a couple of minutes, come and see, it's now started to rain. The rain is just pouring down everywhere. My friend has come, quickly rushed to me. It's like, are you okay? Are you okay? She can see now that the blood has started to, you know, pour out because of the rain. That too is making it even more dramatic. So then she now quickly was able to get some help. And then because of where we were living, they had lots of CCTV and monitoring the area. So my friend mentioned that she believes that somebody noticed it, or from the CCTV, then they were able to then quickly call for an ambulance because they could see that this was much serious. So after that, I went to hospital. Again, because it's France, I can't speak a word of French. Luckily, my friend was with me, and then I had one nice nurse that was there that she also can understand a little bit of English, so she was able to translate, you know, this is what you need to do. But remember guys, I think what, 15, if not 14, 15. So for us, we're still underage, we're still considered a child. So having these kind of like tough situations happening without my mom, my dad, like really family members being present, it was really hard. And I guess that's what introduced me into the world of like adulting from that young age, like being really vulnerable and by yourself. You know, it was on the wards, being by yourself, it was very difficult. So I would say that's also what shaped my career path, because at first I wanted to become a lawyer and support and fight and defend cases, but definitely my time in hospital has definitely shaped my career. And now that I wanted to become a nurse and be an advocate for those that can't speak for themselves, or for people that it's very difficult to the communication when the doctors are speaking or speaking down to you, or they're just speaking to you in their own jargons and stuff like that, and they need somebody to bridge the gap, you know. So basically, going back to my story, So yeah, I had that nurse that she understand a little bit of French, so she spoke to me and basically said that your ankle is very, very bad and needs surgery like ASAP. You need emergency surgery like now, and that you need to consent. If you don't consent for this surgery, we'll have to amputate your leg. And for me, in my 15-year-old mindset, I was thinking that I'm going to get into trouble if I come back to London with 1.5 leg, or so that's where my mind was going, not the after effects or the life of living as an amputee. That didn't even run through my mind. My mind was like, I'm going to get in trouble. I came to France with 2 legs. I'm now going back home with 1.5 leg. Like, my mom's gonna kill me. But I was like, no, do the surgery. I didn't fully understand it, but just do the surgery. If it's to save my leg, please do the surgery. So quickly sign the consent forms, and then I went, and then I had surgery. And I had surgery. It took maybe I would say maybe 4 hours. All I know is that I woke up and it was day. The time that the surgery was happening, or when I consented, it was in the afternoon or evening time, around 5, 6 in the evening. And all I remember is waking up the next morning. It was like midday or something like that, really, really like late in the afternoon the next morning, and I was tired. I had a POP, so like a cast from my thigh all the way to my toes, so full length cast, and I couldn't do anything, and it was just very, very restrictive. And then I realized that, oh, this is serious. I saw other people with their families and their friends, and my lovely friend that I consider her like a sister, she was there. She came visiting as much as possible. But then we also have to remember that we're supposed to be preparing to go back home so that we can, continue our studies and do our GCSEs and stuff like that. But she was able to stay back with me, which I really, really appreciate. Stay back with me whilst I was in France. So it's like, imagine that we're supposed to go home after 6 weeks holiday, and then I've extended the trip for now another further, I believe it's another further 3 weeks or 4 weeks, or an extra month. So it was a really, really traumatic time for me. But definitely throughout the time, honestly, I will say it's God that has strengthened me and was with me throughout the night where I was having so much pain. And if anyone that has had a cast before knows how itchy it can be, and just thanking God that even at that young age, I was able to navigate through my emotions, my mental health, knowing that, okay, you are by yourself, mentally or physically, but spiritually, God is with me. And as a child, it really developed my faith and my relationship with God. And that is one thing that I don't know how I would have coped at that age, being, on the wards by myself and, surviving it all. But yeah, it was an experience, to say the least. But I don't want to come onto this platform and talk about, the negative stuff, which there have been, but just for you to be aware that this is what shaped my career of me being a nurse today. The experience that I had in the hospital in France made me want to become a nurse, made me want to be an advocate and speak up and say, look, we exist. We as Black nurses, we exist and we are here. And not only that, even if we're a patient or a professional or whatever, you always have to deliver individualized care. So it's not going to be the same standard care for everybody. It has to be tailored for that particular patient. So maybe this patient wants you to hold their hand, or another patient doesn't want you to hold their hand but want you to be present. You have to deliver individualized care always, and always has to be the best practice. It shouldn't be favoritism, or this person is white, this person is Black, or this person has money, the other person doesn't have money, so that's going to tailor how I'm going to care for this person. No, so I don't want to go too much into it, but I just want to say, the experience I had with my accident made me want to be the nurse that I am today. And yeah, so I am going to talk more about why, or how my career in nursing and, you know, having osteoarthritis and going on placement and working all those crazy hours, night shift, crash calls and being in charge, and how did I navigate that all with having osteoarthritis? Definitely stay tuned, you'll hear more. Have a lovely day. Bye.